From Deb choosing to shoot Maria LaGuerta at the end of Season 7, to that scene we all know at the end of Season 4. Throughout the 8 seasons of Dexter, there has been countless plot twists, and in this video, we're going to be covering the biggest plot twists in each and every season of the show. Starting with Season 1, The Ice Truck Killer. The revelation that Rudy Cooper was actually Brian Moser, the Ice Truck Killer and Dexter's biological brother, stands as Season 1's most shocking plot twist and arguably one of television's greatest reveals. Throughout the season, Miami Metro hunted a meticulous serial killer who left bloodless, dismembered bodies across the city. Dubbed the Ice Truck Killer, he played a disturbing cat-and-mouse game with the police, and especially with Dexter. Meanwhile, Dexter's sister, Deborah, fell for Rudy Cooper, a kind, charming prosthetist who seemed like the perfect boyfriend. But beneath the surface, things were far darker. The Ice Truck Killer's clues felt deeply personal to Dexter. A bloodless doll in his freezer, body parts arranged at places from his childhood. At the same time, Rudy grew increasingly close to both Deb and Dexter, showing a strange fixation on their family. Then came shrink wrap, and the truth detonated. Rudy was the Ice Truck Killer. While Deborah danced in her bathroom, Rudy called from his apartment, casually mentioning he was doing housework. When she joked that he was full of surprises, he laughed and said, "Oh, you have no idea." Moments later, the reveal hit. Rudy responded to Dexter's Craigslist message, then walked into his freezer filled with severed limbs and a dismembered Barbie doll. More than that, he was Brian Moser, Dexter's long-lost brother, separated from him after they witnessed their mother's brutal chainsaw murder in a shipping container. Every moment with Deborah, every murder and clue was part of Brian's twisted plan to reconnect with Dexter, the only family he had left. The fallout was brutal. Deborah's romance shattered in a betrayal, and Dexter faced a terrible choice between his adoptive sister and his biological brother. When Brian demanded Dexter kill Deborah to prove their bond, Dexter instead killed Brian, choosing his moral code over family. This twist redefined the show. It proved that even the closest relationships could hide monsters, setting the tone for future seasons where no new character could be fully trusted again. I know a lot of people suspected Rudy as the Ice Truck Killer when they watched it, but I had no idea when I first watched it, to be honest. Did you? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, moving on, Lila West's shocking murder of James Dokes in Season's 2 finale stands as one of the most devastating plot twists in Dexter history, eliminating the series' most formidable antagonist in an unexpected act of twisted devotion. This moment fundamentally altered the show's trajectory and sealed Dokes' tragic fate. Throughout Season 2, Dokes had successfully tracked Dexter to an Everglades cabin where he held him captive, having discovered irrefutable evidence of his crimes. After their violent confrontation, Dexter had overpowered Dokes and imprisoned him in Santos Menezes' drug storage cage. For days, the two engaged in psychological warfare, with Dokes desperately trying to convince Dexter to turn himself in while revealing devastating truths about Harry's suicide. The situation reached its breaking point when Lila West, using Dexter's GPS system, discovered the cabin and found the imprisoned sergeant. The tension was unbearable as Dokes pleaded with her to free him, explaining that Dexter was the real Bay Harbor butcher. Instead of helping, Lila saw this as an opportunity to prove her twisted love for Dexter. In a moment of shocking betrayal, Lila turned on the propane gas and ignited the cabin, creating a massive explosion that killed Dokes instantly. Her rationale was chillingly simple. She believed she was helping her soulmate by eliminating his biggest threat. The explosion consumed everything, leaving only charred remains and destroyed evidence. The fallout for justice was devastating. Dokes' body was found next to the dismembered remains of Jose Garza, perfectly staged to make him look like the Bay Harbor butcher. The FBI shut down the investigation, convinced that they had caught their man, leaving Dokes' name forever tarnished by a crime he didn't commit. The twist had profound long-term consequences, eliminating Dexter's greatest nemesis while simultaneously providing him with the perfect cover story. The man who had been right all along became the scapegoat for the very crimes he tried to stop, allowing Dexter to continue his killing spree with unprecedented freedom while an innocent man's reputation was destroyed forever. Me personally, I was devastated when Dokes died. As I've said many times before, Dokes is my favorite character. The plot twist was as bad as the biggest plot twist in Season 3, because what seemed like Dexter's first real relationship was shattered in Season 3 when he discovered that Miguel Prado was actually a manipulative killer, using him to further his own violent agenda. This revelation became the season's most shocking plot twist, turning trust into betrayal. Now, this one surprised me, I have to say, because throughout the season, Miguel appeared to be everything Dexter had never thought possible. A true friend who understood and accepted his dark nature. Their bond began when Dexter accidentally killed Miguel's brother Oscar while hunting drug dealer Freebo. What started as a tragedy became the foundation for what seemed like genuine brotherhood, with Miguel helping Dexter cover up Freebo's murder and even expressing gratitude for his justice. The build-up was masterful. Miguel gradually pushed to become more involved in Dexter's kills, even participating in Billy Fleeter's murder under Dexter's guidance. He spoke movingly about his abusive father and his desire to make the world a better place, positioning himself as Dexter's perfect partner in vigilante justice. Their friendship deepened to the point to where Dexter asked Miguel to be his best man. Then came the devastating truth. Miguel had killed defense attorney Ellen Wolf, an innocent by Harry's code, purely for personal vendettas. When confronted, Miguel revealed his true nature. He would do what I want, when I want, to whomever I want. The caring friend had been a facade. Miguel was simply a power-hungry killer using Dexter's methods for his own political gain. The immediate aftermath shattered Dexter's trust completely. He discovered Miguel had been lying from the beginning, even faking Freebo's blood on his shirt to gain Dexter's confidence. Their confrontation ended with Dexter killing the man he considered his closest friend. This betrayal fundamentally changed Dexter's approach to relationships, making him even more guarded and reinforcing his belief that genuine connection was impossible, setting the stage for future seasons where trust would become an even rarer commodity. In my opinion, this plot twist was even sadder than it was shocking. I think it robbed us of seeing Dexter progress in a friendship. If you agree with me, make sure to subscribe. Rita's brutal murder by the Trinity Killer stands as Season 4's most shocking and heartbreaking plot twist, completely shattering the illusion of Dexter's ability to protect those he loved. Throughout the entire season, Dexter had been tracking Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer, believing that he could learn from this family man who successfully balanced murder with domestic life for over 30 years. Rita represented everything normal and safe in Dexter's world, his anchor to humanity, the mother of his children, and proof that he could maintain a functioning family despite his dark nature. The setup was perfect for what seemed like a triumphant ending. Dexter had finally captured and killed Arthur after an intense cat-and-mouse game. Arthur's reign of terror was over, and Dexter was preparing to join Rita and baby Harrison for their honeymoon getaway to the Florida Keys. The season appeared to be wrapping up with Dexter having successfully eliminated his most dangerous adversary, but Arthur had already enacted his final, most personal revenge. When Dexter arrived home, expecting to find his family, he discovered Rita's phone ringing in her purse and heard Harrison crying from the bathroom. What he found was Rita's lifeless body in a blood-filled bathtub, Trinity's signature kill, with baby Harrison sitting in a pool of his mother's blood, exactly mirroring Dexter's own traumatic childhood. What came after was devastating. Dexter realized that his pursuit of Arthur had directly led to Rita's death, making him responsible for destroying the very thing he was trying to protect. The scene of Dexter carrying blood-covered Harrison paralleled Harry rescuing him years earlier. This twist fundamentally changed the series, proving that Dexter's darkness would always endanger those closest to him, and setting up the guilt and trauma that would define his character in subsequent seasons. And just when it seems like he was finally starting to heal in Season 5, an even bigger plot twist tore his world apart once again. Lumen Pierce's sudden departure from Dexter marked Season 5's most heartbreaking moment, destroying what had felt like Dexter's first real chance at a true partnership and meaningful human connection. Throughout the entire season, Lumen, just like Miguel, had represented everything Dexter thought impossible, someone who not only accepted his darkness, but shared it. After Rita's brutal murder left him emotionally shattered, Lumen became his salvation. She was a rape survivor seeking vengeance against the Barrel Girl gang, and together they formed an unstoppable team, methodically hunting down her attackers while developing a deep romantic bond. The build-up was perfect for a happy ending. They'd successfully eliminated Jordan Chase and the entire gang of rapists who tortured her. Lumen had evolved from a terrified victim into a confident killer, and their relationship had blossomed into love. For the first time, Dexter believed he found someone who truly understood him, his equal, his partner, his soulmate who could see past his monster to the man underneath. Then came the crushing revelation. After their final kill, Lumen tearfully explained that her darkness was gone. The need for vengeance had disappeared with Jordan's death. She couldn't continue their life together because she was no longer broken like him. The immediate aftermath, like all these others, was devastating. Dexter threw plates against the wall in anguish, finally understanding that their connection was temporary. Despite his heartbreak, he accepted her decision, promising to carry free her darkness along with his own as they embraced for the final time. This twist reinforced Dexter's core belief that he was destined to be alone, proving that even the most understanding partner would eventually leave him, setting up his continued isolation in future seasons. In my opinion, this was actually quite shocking. I genuinely thought that Lumen was going to be the long-term love interest to replace Rita, but it was nowhere near as shocking as the biggest plot twist in Season 6, and technically Season 7. Deborah Morgan witnessing Dexter kill Travis Marshall stands as the series' most pivotal plot twist, shattering the fundamental dynamic between the siblings and exposing the truth that had been hidden for 6 seasons. At the time, Deborah was dealing with her own emotional crisis after realizing through therapy that she was in love with her adoptive brother. She planned to meet Dexter at the abandoned Santa Maria de Lorento church under the pretense of asking him to do a final forensic sweep, intending to confess her feelings to him. Meanwhile, Dexter had been hunting Travis Marshall, the Doomsday Killer, throughout the entire season. The setup was tragically perfect for catastrophe. Dexter had finally captured Travis and brought him into the church for his ritualistic kill. He transformed the sacred space into his personal kill room, complete with plastic sheeting and his methodical preparation. Deborah was making her way through the dark church, gathering courage to reveal her heart to the man she thought she knew completely. Then came the devastating moment. As Deborah walked through the church doorway, she witnessed Dexter standing over Travis Marshall with a knife raised high, then plunging it deep into his chest. Time seemed frozen as she gasped, watching her brother, her moral compass, her hero, commit cold-blooded murder with ritualistic precision. When Dexter turned and saw Deborah watching him, his quiet, "Oh God," said everything. Years of trust and love collapsing in an instant. Frozen in disbelief but unable to turn away, Deborah made a fateful choice. She helped him destroy the evidence, setting fire to the church, and with it, her own moral boundaries. From that moment on, nothing was the same. Deborah's entire world unraveled as she faced the truth that the brother she loved was a killer. This revelation set the stage for the show's darker final chapters, where both siblings spiraled through guilt, denial, and impossible choices that would ultimately define their downfall. If you're enjoying this video at this point, make sure to subscribe. Now, the biggest plot twist in Season 7 was when Deb shot Captain Maria LaGuerta, a moment that fundamentally shattered the moral foundation of the series and transformed its most principled character into an accomplice murderer. Throughout Season 7, Captain Maria LaGuerta worked hard to reopen the Bay Harbor Butcher case, convinced that her old friend James Stokes had been wrongfully blamed. She was determined to clear his name and bring the real killer to justice. At the same time, Deborah was struggling with the painful truth about Dexter, still haunted by the moment she saw him kill Travis Marshall. She loved her brother, but now she knew he was a murderer, and that tore her apart. The tension built as LaGuerta got closer and closer to the truth. She found phone records from the night of the church fire, linked Dexter and Deborah to the crime scene, and slowly put together enough evidence to trap them both. Dexter knew that to stop her, he might have to break his own code by killing an innocent person, and that terrified him. It all came to a head in a shipping container. After Dexter killed Hector Estrada, LaGuerta woke up realizing she was about to die, and begged Deborah to do the right thing, to arrest Dexter and stop the killing. Caught between her duty and her love for her brother, Deborah made a heartbreaking choice. In a moment of panic and loyalty, she shot LaGuerta dead to protect Dexter. The aftermath was crushing. Deborah broke down in tears beside LaGuerta's body, overwhelmed by what she had just done. Though they tried to cover it up by showing up at Angel's New Year's Eve party, the damage was done. Dexter reflected on how once you break your own rules, you're never the same, and he was right. From that moment on, Deborah was never the same. Season 8 showed her falling apart from the guilt, leaving the police force, turning to drugs and alcohol, and losing herself completely. Killing LaGuerta didn't just change her life, it ruined it, sending her down the tragic path that would eventually lead to her death. Which brings us to the most shocking plot twist in the end of Season 8. In the Season 8 finale, what seemed like a carefully planned happy ending took a heartbreaking turn when Dexter made the shocking decision to abandon his escape to Argentina with Hannah and Harrison. This unexpected choice became the most devastating twist of the final season, completely changing the direction of his story in its final moments. Throughout Season 8, Dexter had meticulously planned his exit from Miami with Hannah McKay and his son Harrison, envisioning a new life in Argentina free from his dark past. The season built steadily towards this escape, with Dexter obtaining fake identities, making travel arrangements, and even reaching the airport with his makeshift family. Oliver Saxon's rampage and Deborah's subsequent shooting shooting created the perfect storm of circumstances that would test Dexter's priorities. The tension reached its peak when Deborah suffered a massive stroke following her surgery, leaving her brain dead on life support. As Hurricane Laura approached Miami, Dexter faced an impossible choice between his promised future with Hannah and Harrison or staying with his dying sister. The emotional weight of seeing Deborah's vegetative state, combined with his overwhelming guilt over the destruction his presence has brought to everyone he loved, created the perfect conditions for a shocking decision. In a moment that stunned viewers, Dexter chose to remain behind, mercifully ending Deborah's life support and carrying her body out to sea for burial. He then deliberately steered his boat into Hurricane Laura, staging his own death to protect Hannah and Harrison from the curse of his existence. This decision shattered audience expectations and transformed what appeared to be a redemptive ending into a tragic sacrifice. What we saw afterwards was Hannah and Harrison safely reaching Argentina, believing Dexter was dead while he secretly survived and retreated to the Pacific Northwest as a lumberjack. This twist fundamentally changed the series' conclusion from one of hope and new beginnings to one of isolation and self-imposed exile, making it the most consequential and unexpected moment of season 8. The ending, for me personally, really annoyed me, and I know I'm not the only one. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.